Hey y'all, welcome to Flights and Flavors, where we explore various destinations across the world. We're kicking things off right here in the ATL.
We're breaking down our experiences across food, vibes, prices, and more.
And stick around. At the end, we're making a Southern inspired cocktail to celebrate the essence of Atlanta. You guys do not want to miss.
The city of Atlanta is located in the middle of the state of Georgia in the southeastern United States. The official population is around 500,000 as of January 2026. The metro area, however, is around home to around 6 million people. The main language is English. There's a mix of cultural influences from African American, Hispanic, Latino, as well as Asian. Weather is pretty mild as the city experiences all four seasons. Most of the time, though, it's hot, so expect 80 plus degrees Fahrenheit. There's so many things to do in the city. As Atlanta is home to a lot of professional sports teams, there are plenty of concerts, green spaces. For those who like the outdoors, as far as vibes, Atlanta loves lounges, Southern-inspired soul food, and brunch.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Tyler, for the history
You're
lesson.
welcome.
Now to the fun part. Let's jump into our food experiences in the city of Atlanta. We've chosen three of our top food spots in the city, and we'll be rating them on the following.
We're going to be rating it on food, vibes, ambiance, culture, service, and price. We'll tally it all up and provide our final rating for the city, as well as a few honorable mentions. For food, we decided to visit Pasha and Buckhead, Saints and Council in Midtown, and Oku on the west side.
Nice, nice. So let's start talking about Pasha and Buckhead. One of our favorite spots
Mm-hmm.
to visit. We have had an excellent time every time we go and visit. So the food, I'm gonna top it off with the food. We've got a couple pictures here, and I usually get the salmon. Tyler usually gets the lamb chops. I
Mm-hmm.
have had the seafood pasta was really good, or the chicken pasta, and we've also had the calamari. So
Mm-hmm.
I would rate Pasha just based off the food with a five because the food has been excellent every time. It's consistent. It comes out. It's fresh. The drinks complement the food. The seasoning never misses. We never had to add anything extra. So I would give it a five. What about you, Tyler?
Yeah, food is definitely good. Every time we go there, I never have any complaints. As Marie mentioned, um, the lamb chops are excellent. They always give you excellent portion sizes. You're never going to leave there hungry. So for me, definitely a five for the food.
All right, moving on to the vibes, ambiance, and culture. Pasha has a very unique vibe, I will say. For those that may want to be more family friendly, I would not recommend Pasha. It's definitely going to have more of a lounge club vibes, especially after hours at night. We usually go after hours. We're a millennial couple. We like vibes, we like lounges, so it definitely appeals to us. The music can be a little loud and it can be a little dark. So if you're going there to have any conversation or talk one on one in a more intimate setting, would not recommend. But if you're going to hang out with your men or with your girls and have a good time with some good food, I would recommend it. So on vibes, ambiance, and culture, I'm gonna give Pasha a four, only because it's not open to really everyone's vibes, just those that do like the vibes. And we have a couple pictures here that are just kind of listing out how the vibes are in Pasha, but I would give the vibes a four.
Yeah, they have a DJ that comes in, I believe, right around 8 o'clock. Always plays good music. Keeps the mood in the restaurant always upbeat. As far as the culture, depending, you might see a few familiar faces from Atlanta, a few celebrities. So that's always cool running into a familiar face in that way. So yeah, I'll definitely give it a four for that reason as well.
And then also to mention, they do have hookah if that's your thing. So if you're not really wanting to be around the hookah smoke or even that type of atmosphere, I think that will give it a well-rounded four for both of us. Yeah, I
Hmm.
agree.
Yep.
Regarding the service there is kind of hit or miss for me, only because it is your typical bottle girls type vibes when you do have service. Now, the last time that we went, we had an excellent server, Ty. She was so good. She was great. She was very attentive to our needs. Brought us extra things that we may have needed,
Hmm.
and so she was really, really good. But it's really hit or miss depending on your server. I will say part of the service is us getting our food relatively quickly, and it was hot and it was ready to go, seasoned all the way. So I would also give the service a four, Also, one thing to mention that's kind of knocking it down is there is an automatic gratuity to your bill regardless of the number of attendees. So just something to keep in mind as well. So I'll give it a 4.
Yeah, totally agree with Miss Marie. Service to me, especially this last time we went, which was Saturday. We had our waitress Ty. She was on point. Never let our glass get empty. Was very attentive and very sociable. So yeah, service to me. That particular night was 5, but overall, I'll give it about around a 4.
Nice, nice. All right, let's get to the price. We kind of touched on it a little bit. It's what's to be expected in Atlanta, to be honest. I'll flash up what we spent, just so you can get an idea of what we decided to spend on a date night that we had. We both had a drink and we had tap water, not bottled water, and 2 meals and an appetizer. So I decided to have the salmon, and as I mentioned, I had the calamari, and Tyler had the lamb chops, which ranged about $50+ for the lamb chops. But Tyler, what do you think? Was it worth the price?
I mean, yeah, to me, Pasha is always worth the price. As I mentioned before, they give you great portion sizes. The food is always well seasoned. Um, yeah, I never had a complaint from a food perspective. So, yeah, to me, the price is worth it. The drinks are good. I ordered margarita. What did you order?
I had a lemon drop with tequila.
Tequila. Okay, yeah. Tried a little bit of hers as well. So, yeah, good drink. So, to me, the price is worth it. Yeah.
All right. So price, what do you rate it? I say price. I mean, it's comparable to what you would see in the city. The only
Mhm.
thing throwing me off, I do not like when places add gratuity because I am a heavy tipper. I used to bartend in college. I'm always going to tip well, but I do understand what businesses are going through.
Mhm.
So I would just say, other than the automatic gratuity, I would give Pasha a 4.
Yeah, same here. Price wise, definitely would give it a 4. Yeah, it's about what I expect from being in the city of Atlanta.
All right, let's tally it up. The final score for Pasha is.
4. Bing.
All right, let's move on to our next one. Let's do Oku on the west side. We fell in love with this place. Okay, so let's just get that out of the way. I will start off with food. So we love Thai inspired, Japanese inspired. We love Asian food. So for our flavor palette, Oku is top of the list. Oku is located on the west side in Atlanta. It's near Barcelona Wine Bar,
Mhm.
and there's some other restaurants in a little midtown section as well. If you are familiar with Velvet Taco and some other places in the area. And so, with regards to the food, I'm going to start off giving Oku a 5. We came in at lunchtime on each time that we visited, and while lunchtime isn't their really popular time, it's the best time for their deals.
Mhm.
I usually get the whole meal, and I'll flash it up here of what I got. But I usually get that whole meal, and we split it. You get 2 meats, and you also get a sushi roll and some
Sesame noodles.
other things, sesame
Mhm.
noodles, which is his thing. And we got a classic roll, and we got some sashimi.
Mhm.
Everything was fresh. Everything's great. The first time that we went, we had a great bartender and a great waitress that gave us free stuff, comped a lot of stuff for us.
Nathan Ling.
Okay, shout outs, shout outs.
This
But
time around we had Miles, which was great.
Miles was also great. Shout out to Miles, but always excellent service. If there's anything that they recommend, try it. I was not a nigiri girl. I only like sushi rolls and certain ones, the typical, right? But Ling told me to try a nigiri, and she brought out it was the tuna nigiri. I don't know what else it had with it, but it was off the chain. It
Mhm.
was really good. And then we tried some other things that they just recommended. So we plan on going back for dinner, but that is our go-to spot, especially if we're in Midtown Atlanta. Wonderful, wonderful spot. I'm gonna rate the food a 6 out of 5, but since we only can do 5, I'll do 5 out of 5.
Yeah,
What do you think,
yeah,
Tyler?
same here. We walked in there on just a random day. Just a restaurant. We've passed by a couple of times, not really know what to expect, but yeah, the food is so fresh. It's so original. It's not the typical type of sushi where you go to a sushi restaurant and you're getting the ginger on the side with the wasabi. It's already so well seasoned, none of that's even needed. So yeah, I mean the food is amazing. It's the preparation. You can see them in the kitchen preparing the food. Yeah, so to me, food is definitely a five. It's amazing.
I like it. I like it. All right. Vibes, ambiance, and culture. As I mentioned, we went during lunchtime, but if we were to rate the vibes, I would say it's family. It is family friendly. We've seen a couple of families in there. We usually sit at the bar whenever we go out, especially if a restaurant is not busy. We will go sit at the bar.
Hmm.
So we enjoyed the downstairs, beautiful, nicely nice mural behind the bar, very well lit. It's really nice. It gives the vibes. Now, one thing that Miles mentioned, and I've been following them on Instagram as well, is that they have a rooftop that is coming available in the coming months.
The very
So
first.
if you are a rooftop girly or rooftop guy and you love the vibes, especially in these hot summer days in Atlanta, they've got a cool spot that will be coming available in a rooftop. So for vibes, ambiance, and culture, I would say during lunch, I'm gonna give Oku maybe a four, only because it's not really focused on the adult vibes, but I also haven't been around dinner time. So that may change, but it's really beautiful inside, nice location. They have valet parking. It's nice in a plaza with some other restaurants. So I would give culture, ambiance, and vibes a four.
Yeah, same here. Very Japanese. It's a Japanese inspired look. The restaurant is very clean. The customer service has been excellent the past two times we've went. Even this last time that we went, we saw a family of six in there with their kids. So, you know, you can bring your kids there. It's definitely an environment for you to bring your children, and definitely for your family. So, yeah, vibes, the ambiance, everything, the culture, the way they treat you when you come in. They do treat you like family. So, yeah, I would get me personally. I would give it a five. I feel like the customer service is A plus.
All right, so that kind of bleeds into the service. Tyler already mentioned, and we already touched on the service. Service can make a difference. It can make or break you. Yes, you can have some great food, but if the service sucks, we're not coming back.
Hmm.
So each time it's just been great, very attentive. They're not overly zealous. Sometimes you have those waiters that are at your table every 5 minutes, or that bartender that's just making you try all these different things, but they're really tailored to your needs. So, for example, the last time we were there before this recent time, I said, "Hey, I love sour and I don't want overly sweet, but a little bit of sweet." And the
Hmm.
bartender came back with a drink right for my flavor profile that I was looking for. So if you want somebody that's going to cater to you, understand what you like, and work with you, and also provide you with excellent service, this is the place to go. So I'm going to rate the service a five.
Yeah. And another thing I'll mention about the service, both times when I had Mason and I had Miles, any question I had in regards to the food, they were very knowledgeable about the menu. They answered every and any question that I had. So because of that, I'm going to give them a 4.5 actually, because they were very knowledgeable from a service perspective.
Nice. All right, let's talk about price. Once again, we're in Atlanta, so just keep that in mind. But I would say Oku is actually one of the more reasonably priced restaurants
Hmm.
that we've been to. I looked at the bill and I was like, this is
Hmm.
right. Because you can easily, with just two and you're ordering alcohol as well, can easily run up a bill of $200 or more, depending on where you are. But we are dead in the middle of Midtown slash West Side, and our lunch came to about $86. So that was very reasonable, and we were both full, but we weren't gross. We didn't feel disgusting after we were eating there. A lot of greasy food. We had a lot of good food, a lot of good flavors. Our drinks were well worth it. They're a little pricey. They can be around $17 to $18. But like I said, it's worth it. Go have your drink, have you a nice meal. The other people that were sitting nearby us seemed to be also liking the prices and liking the ambiance. And
Hmm.
so with that, I will definitely rate it a five on the price. And one thing we also want to keep in mind here is that you do have to pay for parking once again at this location. That's something that you have to keep in mind when you're in Atlanta. You're going to have to either valet or pay to park. So I'm adding that into the price, but it's reasonable. It's only $5 to valet. So
Hmm.
I'll say it's a five.
Yeah, and the valet service is very simple. God just takes your card right there as he takes your keys. Like my Miss Marie mentioned, it's only $5. So, oh yeah, for me the price is yeah, it's five for me. For what we ordered and for the price point and for the quality of the food and the quality of the service and the aesthetics of the restaurant, just all together, I would give it a five.
I like it. Let's tally it up. We're gonna give it this. So take that how you may, but we really enjoyed Oku. All right, let's move on to the next restaurant here. All right, so for the third choice of the day, we've decided to rate Saints and Council, also in Midtown. We love Midtown. Midtown's growing. It's got a lot of nice restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
So Saints and Council, I actually went on a business trip with some coworkers and just decided to go there because it was very close to my office. Went to Saints and Council, and first when I first walked in, I was like, "This is a beautiful restaurant." When you first walk in, there's this beautiful stone fireplace. It's nice. They have a little sitting area if you want to have just like an intimate chat, quick chat with someone. The bar is really nice. The restaurant is just nice. And in the summertime, they have some outdoor seating as well. It's right next to another honorable mention, Bulgaria, which we enjoyed. If you like Spanish tapas, they are right next door. Check them out. And there's also a Sweet Green and Five Church, I believe, is over there as well. But this is our go-to. So as far as the food, we thoroughly enjoyed Saints and Council. I loved it so much I brought him. So we decided to have the mussels, and I had the sea bass. What did I have? Salmon, sea bass.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It was just it was fine, and I love miso, and it had miso, but it wasn't overpowering. It was very well flavored, very well seasoned. I cannot stand overcooked seafood. They cooked it just right, and we sat at a part of the bar so we could see into the kitchen. And our bartender was really knowledgeable in bringing out our food and what's on it and the different flavor profiles. We like to engage our servers, and they didn't feel like it was an issue. So I would say for the food, I'm gonna rate it a five because I can always go back and have some good food. It is American style food, but they do have some international like flavors for your flavor profiles. So it's not like Pasha, which is more Mediterranean, and then Oku, which is more Japanese inspired. But it just depends on your likes, and they do have something for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Tyler?
Yeah, the mussels were, do it again, delicious. Even after you finish the mussels, there's a sauce there where you can even dip your bread into it. So the mussels were amazing. The mussels were five. I ordered their burger. The burger was okay, everyday burger. I'll probably give the burger, me personally, about a three. They have a amazing old fashioned, which was delicious. It was a take on an old fashioned that I've never personally had before, so I would definitely rate that a five. So overall, I would give the food about a four.
Okay, so we talked about it a little bit, but let's talk about the vibes, ambiance, and culture. As I mentioned, I think it's a beautiful restaurant, nicely dimly lit. Definitely has the vibes. But Tyler, what did you think about the vibes and ambiance?
Yeah, I think it's a great date night place. They keep the lights pretty dimly lit. I love how they kind of designed the restaurant. There's a seating area where kind of next to a fireplace kind of gives you it's like a lounge vibe. But yeah, everyone there, they have large tables for large groups. They have shorter tables for couples. Where Miss Marie and I sit was right on the bar, which is pretty cool. But yeah, overall, the vibes, ambiance, yeah, I would definitely give it a four. It was very um, date night specific to me. But yeah, I liked it.
Okay, all right. So let's move on to the service. We also touched on this a little bit earlier already, but the service was every time that I went, the service was great. They do have like a younger server vibe, but they are well trained, very attentive to our needs. As I mentioned, our glasses stay full. The first couple of times that I went 4 times. Hold on, let me start over. The first time that I went, I actually had an espresso martini. It was so good. I ordered like two more. And the drinks are just it's a great pour. Yes, the alcohol is present, but it's not overpowering. And that's one thing that sets them aside for me. The espresso martinis are Mm. And then Tyler mentioned that he loved his old fashioned. So
Mhm.
the drinks are one of the major things, but you also have to have someone that knows about the drinks to be able to provide you with that good service. So I thought the service was great. I'm gonna rate the service a five.
Yeah, as Miss Marie mentioned, our bartender, because we sat at the bar, was very attentive to us. Any questions that we had, he was able to answer them. Even the waiters and waitresses that weren't serving us, when they walked by, they would, say hi or how's your meal. So yeah, service to me was definitely a five. They were very attentive.
Nice. All right, let's move on to price. As I mentioned before, it's Atlanta. So the gratuity was not included, but the price is to be expected for Saints and Council. It's about comparable to the other restaurants in the area. You will spend about $100 if you want to get a drink and maybe a meal and no appetizer, just two entrees and two drinks. So that's about what you're going to be paying. Now, one thing to also keep in mind is when you pull up in Colony Square, which is the area that it's located in, you do have to pay for parking, so consider that into your price. But to make it worthwhile, here are some other, I will include some other honorable mentions, like JoJo's Beloved. There's also a movie theater. So make a little staycation in the area. Go
Mhm.
visit Saints and Council, Bocaria, and some other places in the area so that you get your money's worth. Because it is a little bit expensive to park as well as pay your bill and then try to head back to the house.
Mhm.
So price I'm gonna give it a four. Because I hate to pay to park.
Yeah. For me, just in comparison to other restaurants in the area, and from a food perspective, and from what I'm buying, I would give it about a 3.5 just for what I got. But yeah, overall, I definitely recommend checking it out, and see for yourself.
Sounds good. All right, Mr. T. Where are you gonna rate it?
Right here.
All right. So our number one pick, just based on the numbers, is
Okay.
okay. If you want some good flavors, if you like a Japanese inspired flavor profile, good drinks, low key, chill, nice vibes, pick out Oku on the west side. I'll also list out the honorable mentions. And a lot of times we don't really stay in the city of Atlanta. And so we will do a staycation and visit a lot of these restaurants that we like. One of the things that I want to mention is some of the hotels that we stayed in. So I've listed those as well. And they're in close proximity to the restaurants that we like to frequent. These are our reviews. Thank you guys for joining us today. Now we're going to transition to a little bit of a Atlanta inspired cocktail by Mr. T himself. He's gonna give us a bourbon. How you say it? Bourbon. What?
Peach bourbon smash.
Peach bourbon smash. Thank you for
Mhm.
that. And it's gonna be off the chain. So thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for logging into our channel. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.
All right, family. See you next week. That's a peach bourbon smash. So first, what I want you to do is grab your favorite bourbon, like I got here. Gonna fill up my shaker with that. I normally don't measure. I just like to kind of fill it up over the ice halfway. And then I'm gonna take my freshly squeezed peach juice and fill that up. Take a little lime juice. Do about 3-4 squirts or whatever to your liking. Take a little bit of simple syrup. And then I'm gonna take a few sprigs of this mint. Now you're not gonna tear the mint. What you're gonna do is you're gonna smack it because you wanna release the oils. So fresh and so clean. All right, we're gonna put that into the shaker. We're gonna shake that up really nice. Get all the flavors mixing. All right, we're gonna pour that over the ice. Look at that flow. All right, take a few sprigs of our mint. Place that right there in the drink. And there you got it. You got your Georgia Peach Bourbon Smash. Mm, so good, family. Now, the thing about this drink, it's really good for the summertime. And it's also a drink you can heat up and drink during the winter months as well. So it's really good both pairing in the summer or in the winter. So thank you for joining me, family. And have yourself a drink. Enjoy.